Today we are reviewing a 5.7 V8 Tundra TRD Pro. Link to the Large Miller Chevy and Provo's website in the description down below. They're providing us with a truck. Link to my car buying guide too. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 5.7 liter V8 that goes through a 6-speed automatic. It puts out 381 horsepower and then 401 pound-feet of torque. And if you maintenance this properly, you can get 1,000,000 miles out of this engine. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Fake hood scoop on the TRD Pro, but it definitely looks cool. Now this is a 2021, so you actually do have the upgraded lights for this generation of Tundra. Heritage Toyota logo there with the grill sensor below it. That looks kind of funny. This also came with rigid fog lights from the factory. And unlike a lot of new TRD Pros, this actually has recovery points from the factory. And yeah, this truck is a little bit old, but I think the front end still looks good to this day. This has 33s on it, 275 by 70 by 18. And it's got the cool BBS forged TRD Pro wheels. This also has TRD tuned shocks, independent front suspension, blacked out badges here on the side. And then out back we do have Fox shocks, and then we've got leaf springs with this and a solid rear axle. And of course TRD Pro stamped into the side of the bed. And look at the side profile. Again, this truck I think has aged pretty well. Now this has Toyota's older key fob, which is just this little rectangle, pretty simplistic though. The tailgate to this truck does have some dampening, which is nice. Cargo tie-down points here on the bed, and we have protection with this as well. And the tailgate's actually pretty darn light. The taillights on this are a little bit on the dated side of things, and then you got another Tundra stamped in there. Spare tire is underneath the truck. And this is the TRD Pro where you had the exhaust tip sticking out either side of the bumper, which is kind of cool. So although the taillight's dated a little bit, I think the rest of the truck still looks pretty good. Let's see what's going on inside. Really cool red stitching here on the door panel, and plenty of storage on the bottom section. And these seats have actually held up really well. This truck has well over 60,000 miles. You can also pick up the seats so you can store stuff on the floor. Legroom back here is fantastic. It's actually bigger than the new one, I think. Got some vents back here and a little 12-volt too. And headroom here in the back is actually pretty good. This also comes with a cup holder armrest. Now let's check out the front. More of that cool red stitching up front. Looks like the front two windows are automatic. And there's tons of storage here in the door panel. Now this truck has 1,235 pounds of payload capacity, and then it weighs about 6,000 pounds, a little bit less. More of that red stitching TRD Pro there on the seats as well, and then the seats are power adjustable. Here on the side we've got our mirror adjustment control, and you've got that little button down there to open up the power sliding rear window. Start her up. A really nice trim around the steering wheel, and again, it's held up really well. This has Toyota's old button system, so there's lots of physical buttons, little cruise control stock there on the back, but I like it. And you also have good old-fashioned traditional stocks in the back too. Speaking of traditional, this definitely gets traditional truck fuel economy. You can see 13.8 miles per gallon is what's been averaged. Now this generation didn't have lockers or anything, it just had a fancy auto LSD. You can see the little light up function there. The trim on the dash was more basic but durable. They did include elements like this that are a little bit fancier. Now this has just a backup camera in reverse, no 360 or anything like that. And just look at all the trim around the infotainment system. It's held up really well. Physical buttons all around. The screen itself, again, this is dated compared to modern vehicles, but it gets the job done and it actually responds pretty quickly. This does also come with a tow haul mode and trailer brake controls from the factory. Dual zone climate controls. And it has an old-fashioned 2-speed part-time 4-wheel drive system. And would you look at that USB ports? By the way, if you want to turn on the auto LSD, just press the stability control button once. TRD there on the shifter for the 6-speed, cup holders right next to it. TRD Pro here on the center console, and it's got plenty of space inside. This does come with a sunroof. And remember when I said power sliding rear window? The whole window goes down, which is cool. This generation of Tundra TRD Pro is holding its value amazingly well. Some low mileage examples are going for over original MSRP, and something like this with over 60,000 miles is still over $50,000. Let's drive it. V8. This is such a cool truck in my opinion. My wife and I have a Sequoia that's the same vehicle as this, just SUV form and then independent rear suspension instead of the solid rear axle like what this has. And then it's coil sprung instead of leaf sprung, so I'll be interested to see how this kind of drives compared to our Sequoia in that way. I can already tell you it kind of bumps around a little bit more than what we have with our Sequoia. But yeah, I definitely have a soft spot for this generation of Toyota. When I first started reviewing cars, this is the generation that was out, and I gotta mention this because I still think it's funny to this day. I remember reviewing these and I was like, man, these cars are just old. and not really a huge fan of them. And now I come back and I'm like, oh, man, this is when Toyota was good, because this was like the perfect blend of modernity with old school. And some people say that's the generation before this, and I think there's some truth to that. But I think this generation, even though it's plasticier compared to the previous gen, I don't know, I really like it. So this doesn't drive nearly as comfortably as our Sequoia, I can tell you that right off the bat. It's more truck-like. The solid rear axle, the leaf springs, you feel them. You definitely feel them, whereas in the Sequoia with the independent suspension, that one's like just it's a luxury car. It really is super comfortable to drive. But this does have the same vague steering as the Sequoia, I can tell you that. Oh man, the V8 sounds so good in the Tundra. Yeah, definitely very old school truck. And I mean, the new Tundra, it's like a night and day change. With the new Tundra, they've made it coil sprung now, it's turbocharged, it sits lower, and so it's like very car-like now. You can tell that they're going for luxury with the new Tundra. They're conceding off-road capability and kind of ruggedness to make it so that it's more of a daily driver. And I mean, it makes sense, because like you look at the truck market, and it used to be you had to have calluses to be able to own a truck, but now it's like you can be the dude that lifts with gloves and own a pickup truck. That's just kind of the demographics that are buying pickup trucks nowadays. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, this drives old school. Makes me like our Sequoia even more, because you know I wasn't like, I really liked the previous generation Sequoia, but I was kind of like, man, do I really want to live without a solid rear axle? Because I love having that for, you know, if you go on more rugged terrain, right, having just a little bit more articulation, it helps out. But now seeing how this drives with a solid rear axle, I'm like, I like the independent rear suspension. I actually like how that performs. And being coil sprung also makes it quite a bit more comfortable. Man, I'm impressed with how well this interior has held up. The biggest problem with just this generation of Toyota and the previous gen before this is rust. That's the thing that kills these Toyotas. It's like the engine will run, everything in the interior will be nice, but you know, you get too much rust and then the vehicle's done for. And that's obviously a lot of vehicles, but oh, see, it's not as fast as the new turbo Toyota, but the new turbo Toyota doesn't have that just buildup of V8 power. Like, this is just so wonderful. It's so nice. There's nothing else quite like this 5.7 V8. And it's so interesting to see how this is tuned different from the V8 in my Land Cruiser 200 series. The 200 series feels completely different from this. Even though the vehicles weigh about the same amount, this just doesn't have the same smoothness as the 200. But it's still great. Sounds good too. So, in closing, if you can get one of these that doesn't have rust, right? Such a nice truck. And the thing that's really nice, as someone who now owns two previous gen Toyotas, a 200 series Land Cruiser and what, second gen Sequoia, I enjoy the ownership experience because you just drive the cars. They do exactly what you want them to do. They never cause you any issues. You just take them in. I take our cars in every 5,000 miles and do an oil change and tire rotation every 5,000 miles. And that's all you have to do. You just oil change, tire rotation. I'll probably have to replace a battery on the Sequoia and the Land Cruiser sometime soon, because those batteries are, I think the Land Cruiser battery is literally like 5 years old at this point, plus. But I haven't, that's even been fine, right? So it's impressive how durable the vehicles are and how they just always work, no matter what it seems like. And so you just have this peace of mind, like where, you know, I've owned a lot of different brands, and with the Toyotas, you just don't even think about, you don't think about anything. Like, you just drive the car. Like with the Ford, you're like, oh man, do I really want to keep driving? I just hit 20,000 miles. Do I really want to keep driving this? This is when this starts to break, or that starts to break. I don't really think about that with the Toyotas. It's kind of like, I just hit, we're almost 40,000 miles with our Sequoia. It's like, cool. Let's do another 10,000 miles. You know what I mean? So let me guys think, but I think that if you can find one of these in good condition, it is old school, it is trucky, but it'll survive the apocalypse.